All right, Captain America: Civil War. Just got out of the screening, give or take about a half an hour ago. Had a couple things that needed to get done first. First things first. My little concerns going into this is the way the advertising looked. I was afraid this might not really be a Captain America movie, just more like Avengers 3 Civil War rather than Captain America 3 Civil War, which, like I said, didn't make any sense. I mean, obviously, I know they want the next Avengers movie to be about the Infinity Gems and all that, but again, that was my main concern. The good news is this is first and foremost a Captain America story. There are set pieces with the Avengers, and obviously they follow Tony Stark because he's a prominent role in it as well, but the Tony Stark stuff does not dominate the Captain America stuff. It's very much Captain America's story. Well, to be honest, it's also quite a bit of Bucky's story as well. Likewise, I love the way they introduced the Black Panther. They set up his origin already, and I guess he's already the Black Panther kind of going into it, but then his father dies, so he also becomes king by that point, so he's going to be both king and Black Panther. Also, spoilers a little bit for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here. Obviously, if you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know the Inhumans are playing a big role in that. I thought that was going to be one of the catalysts for Civil War and the Registration Act, which they didn't call it Registration Act, they called it the Accord, basically making the Avengers fall under the jurisdiction of the UN because they're causing too much collateral damage and civilian casualties. Even though they evacuated all of Sokovia, I don't know why they threw Sokovia in there. Anyway, sorry. If you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know that one of the Inhumans is basically the Marvel comic villain Nitro, who has the ability to turn anything he touches into a bomb. The Australian Inhuman who was living off the grid in South Dakota, that's Nitro. And if you know that character, you know that in the original Civil War comic, basically there was a super team who had a reality show that was in need of a ratings boost, and so tracked down a group of villains to try to get a catch on them. And one of them happened to be Nitro. Nitro was tossed into a school bus. He turned that school bus into a bomb, and because of that, basically blew up a schoolyard full of children. And that catalyzed the Superhero Registration Act. Now, like I said, the Registration Act is not really in this. It's more the UN wants an accord, basically to, for lack of a better term, dictate where the Avengers fight evil, for lack of a better term. And that's where Cap has the problem. Like, what if there's a place where we really need to go and we're not allowed to go because the UN says, or someone at the UN says, no, we can handle that, but we know they're not going to. And I guess that was kind of my problem with it. Civil War really made more sense because it was the Superhero Registration Act, kind of like the Mutant Registration Act, where if you had superpowers, you needed to register with the government would know your identity, and how safe could those identities possibly be, and that's where Cap was coming from on that, and you're violating personal liberty. What if someone has powers but doesn't really want to be a hero, doesn't really want to fight evil, just wants to, try to live a normal life? Again, I know I'm focusing a lot on the comic here, sorry, but anyway, at the beginning of the film, there's a fight scene in Nigeria, and involving the Captain America villain Crossbones, and he's trying to break out some biohazard super virus. Again, sorry, I have hair on my nose. Let's see, where was it? Crossbones is stealing some sort of virus. They managed to stop him, and he sets off this suicide bomb. Scarlet Witch contains it and starts flinging him upwards, and she flings it all the way up, but not quite over this skyscraper, and the bomb goes off, and it kills a contingent from the Wakandan government. And that really doesn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, I'll get more into Wakanda at some point too. Maybe, I don't know. Sorry. Okay, Wakanda. And like, my one problem with that is it doesn't make any sense, like, well, what jurisdiction did the Avengers have to be in there? Like, the guy was going to commit bioterrorism. Is that not enough? And this leads to the introduction of what they call the Accord again, which would cause the... I know I'm reiterating a lot of stuff, sorry. It would cause the Avengers to fall under UN jurisdiction and have to be guided by this panel. And Cap's not really for that. And then he gets word that Peggy Carter died. Yeah, they have Peggy Carter die off camera. And he goes to her funeral, and it's there that he learns that Agent 13 is Sharon Carter, her niece, which again doesn't make sense. He kind of learned that at the end of Winter Soldier. Anyway, as this is going on, the Accord is being signed into law in Vienna, and because the Wakandan government was... I'm sorry, I'm getting all over the damn place. Let me try to see if I can focus here. Okay. Sticking more to the good, not plot summarizing, sticking more to the good. Like I said, I like the way they actually got the Black Panther involved. The Black Panther's father, who's the king of Wakanda, comes to help sign this accord. There's there's a bombing at the signing, and Bucky is photographed being there, and that's how the whole ball gets rolling there. Cap's trying to prove Bucky is innocent, and they're trying to track him down, and okay. But again, it's like Stark keeps trying to hammer home, we need policing, we need to just make sure that we know what we're doing, and we aren't killing innocent people who had nothing to do with this. And that's fine, and I don't understand why Cap would really be opposed to that. He's talking about it being internally. Like, no! I mean, I get your concern that the UN might dictate where the Avengers can go and where they can't go, but at the same time, too, if you're trying to minimize the collateral damage, that actually makes more sense. And then it becomes more Cap trying to prove Bucky's innocent, Iron Man trying to bring Cap in, and that's what leads to the big set piece. Like I said, more on the good side of things. I'll try to focus more on that now. The way they introduce Spider-Man is good. Already the interaction between Tony Stark and Spider-Man is really well done. He comes to visit Aunt May. Marissa Tomei is in the movie. And Stark comes to visit under the auspices that Peter has won a scholarship through a Stark Foundation. In reality, it's because Spider-Man has been shown on YouTube, and it's this really rinky-dink costume. He's developed the web shooters, but he has not developed a good costume. And he gets that from Stark, but it's not the Iron Spider outfit that you saw in the Civil War comic. It's just the regular one you've seen in the trailers. Like I said, there's some really good scenes. There's one point he tries to stop Tony from telling Aunt May that he's Spider-Man, so he shoots the webbing and he webs Stark's hand to the door, and then Stark needs to leave. He's like, could you cut me out of this? Like I said, that was really good. Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, and his reasoning is very good. Obviously, Christopher Evans, Sebastian Shaw, that's Winter Soldier, Sam Wilson as Falcon. I loved one of the things with Falcon. Again, if you know the comics, you know that Falcon has a actual Falcon named Red Wing that he has kind of a telepathic link to, and he uses sort of his recon and to fly into situations where he can't go, where he needs to be undetected. They actually introduced that in Civil War. Instead of being an actual Falcon, though, Red Wing is a drone that Sam can control through voice commands and everything. Like I said, all of those were pluses. I guess now we'll get a bit more into the negatives I had with it. Some of them are kind of nitpicky. For example, Bucky is accused of blowing up this UN consulate in Vienna, but then literally the next day he's in Bucharest. And it's like he's clearly been in Bucharest for more than a day. Wouldn't they have been able to catch him a little bit sooner than that? I mean, I don't know exactly how long it was between these. Maybe he could have had enough time if he had a private escort to get out somehow. But it doesn't explain. Like I said, that's nitpicky, I know. Like I said, Peggy Carter's death off screen. It's not so much they killed her. I mean, that character, if you saw the problems in Winter Soldier she's had, okay. And then it's revealed that Sharon is her niece. Like I said, I didn't know that whether or not that was part of the plan. And Cap actually asks Sharon, did you tell your aunt that you were working with me? And she said, well, I couldn't keep all my secrets from her. But again, if you saw Winter Soldier, Peggy had dementia. Again, like, okay, so you told her, but did she forget? Or, yeah, I just didn't get that part of it. Let me see, the other negative, oh, good. Okay, another kind of nitpicky gripe thing I had, the cinematography. It got they get a really shaky cam heavy during a lot of the fight scenes, and sometimes that can be it got a little over the top. Like most of them it was pretty stable, but then other times it was rocking all over the place. It's like, pick one and just kind of stick to it, guys. I think they, towards the end, as the film went on, I think they got a little more streamlined in their action sequences. Let's see. Oh, I guess maybe the big thing is, it turns out the mastermind behind all of this is Helmut Zemo, Baron Zemo from the comics. He's not a Baron in this. He's actually a Sokovian colonel who was in the army, and this is where I have a problem with it. Generally, while the motivations for that character in the comics are understandable, they're not really sympathetic, and they turned him sympathetic. They made it because in Avengers Age of Ultron, his family was killed in the Ultron attack on Sokovia, and that's why he was planting the seeds to destroy the Avengers. And it's like, I get that that's kind of the problem with Captain America. I mean, Cap does not have like that Spider-Man-like rogues gallery where you could just plug a different villain into each piece. I mean, he's got time-displaced Nazi in the Red Skull, time-displaced Nazi in Otto von Strucker and Hydra, time-displaced Nazi in Baron Zemo, time-displaced Nazi in Arnim Zola. So yeah, you're getting you get the idea there. Also, they introduced this idea that there's actually more than one Winter Soldier. That there was a program, and there were other ones that were made to be like Bucky, but they were a little too radical, and so they were all kept in suspended animation, and then they're just kind of killed without really a passing mention. And the big spoiler on this one. Well, I'll spoil one other thing. That's kind of on the good side. I'll spoil one thing on the good side before I get to the really big spoiler. The good side is War Machine Rhodey is not killed. However, he is paralyzed. What happens is Cap and Bucky take off in a jet. War Machine goes off in pursuit. Falcon goes after War Machine. Vision fires some sort of electromagnetic pulse to try to disable the jet, or disable Falcon's flight harness. Falcon dodges out of the way, and it hits Rhodey, and Rhodey falls to the ground. But he lives, and like I said, he's paralyzed, and at the end of the film, he's trying on like this walking harness. And I think that's what happened to him in the comics. I can't really remember. Some parts happened during times where I was not reading a lot of comics, so... Okay, and now kind of the big spoiler on the negative side that kind of irked me. At the beginning of the film, it's sort of revealed that Winter Soldier, Bucky, as the Winter Soldier, killed Howard and Maria Stark, Tony's parents. They were on their way to, I think it was some briefing at the Pentagon or something, and their car was run off the road, and he basically broke both their necks. Yeah, because Howard was thrown from the car, and that's where he killed them. That's not the part that bothers me. The part that bothers me is this whole motif is about revenge. Black Panther wants revenge on Winter Soldier for the bombing and the killing of his father. Excuse me. And it's all about how, obviously, Zemo wants revenge for what happened in Sokovia, and Cap is just trying to prove everyone, and trying to provide voice of reason, for lack of a better term. But the idea is revenge consumes, revenge consumes, revenge consumes. It consumes Zemo to the point that he does what he does. Panther eventually realizes what's going on. He discovers what happened. He confronts Zemo. Zemo moves to kill himself, but Panther basically stops it. He says, no, I won't even kill you. I will not let revenge consume me. Then when it's revealed that Tony Stark finds out that Winter Soldier killed his parents, he just starts attacking and attacking. And it's like, at what point could you have just stopped and said, he was under mind control? That just irked me. It's like, no, he just stopped, he stopped, and he blew off Bucky's arm, and he just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and finally Captain America just plunged the shield into Stark's arc reactor, and that kind of officially kind of splits the Avengers. That scene at the airport, I'll get back to some of the plus now. The scene at the airport with the big fight, the big schmoz, that was really good. A lot of really good action and all that. There, the kinetic camera was stabilized. They were actually able to show a lot of that stuff. Ant-Man shows up and... Sorry, there's a bug there. Ant-Man shows up. They recreate the famous Ant-Man on the arrow from the Avenger on the Hawkeye's arrow scene. They're flying around, and then he reveals he can also grow to giant size. And he starts picking everyone up and throwing it around, and they're like, whoa, little guy got big now. And he actually holds his own through most of it. And like I said, it's actually really funny because it just leads to all going, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And we're like, oh, this is kind of changes the ball game now. Like I said, that was a really good thing. Clearly should start taking notes in the middle of these things, but the theater is really jam-packed. I don't want to be too much of a distraction around people, so I try to take as best notes as I can. Okay, so the fighting at that... anyway, basically a bunch of the Avengers, other than Cap and Bucky, sort of realized, look, in order to get Cap away, we need to kind of lose this battle a little bit. And so basically Hawkeye and Ant-Man and Falcon, I want to say there was one, Scarlet Witch, they basically all get arrested. They're taken to the Raft, which is the super prison out in the middle of the ocean. And at the end of the film, they get broken out by Cap, and I guess he's forming his own version of the Avengers. And he takes them, and this is where the post-credit scene comes in, he takes them to Wakanda, and it's like, at some point they're going to come after us, and T'Challa says, let them, because if you know anything about Wakanda, it's like this African, for lack of a better term, super nation. People don't invade, people don't, militaries don't declare war on them. They basically are sort of off limits to the rest of the world. And basically also at that post-credit scene, Bucky decides to be put into suspended animation because he realizes he's got too much going on in his head to really be an asset to society until they can figure out how to make it so that he's more Bucky and less Winter Soldier. That'll work. And then the other post-credit scene, you see Spider-Man and Aunt May or Peter Parker and Aunt May are talking. Peter Parker is all beat up and bruised. It's like, some guy named Steve from Brooklyn punched me. Oh, I got him a few licks too. Don't worry. Okay. And she gives him some ice. And then he notices something on his web shooter, and he starts kind of fiddling with it. And it beams out this red light, and it's like, okay, whoa. And he covers it back up as his aunt checks on him. He says, I'm fine. No reason to worry. And she leaves, closes the door, and he takes the cover back off, and he points it up, and it's the spider signal from the comics. If you remember, I don't know if this is showing up in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon or not, but yeah, he had the spider light, basically the spider signal, and it would show this light. It was actually on his belt. It would show the Spider-Man logo on an evildoer to announce that Spider-Man was coming. Okay, so if anything in my rambling there made any sense, I hope it did. I guess I'll go to the overall grade. I'm going to give this one a B. Like I said, I really did enjoy it. I liked almost everything. Just a lot of my few gripes with the plot were a little pronounced. So I can't quite give it an A. A B is more than that should suffice. Now on to trailers. Trailer number 1, Doctor Strange. Finally, cross promotion. I almost, for some reason, Bismarck does not get the cross promotion trailers for some reason. Like, Marvel trailers don't play before Marvel movies here. I don't know why. But it was nice to see the Doctor Strange trailer on the big screen. It looks good. Don't know if I'll really be able to see it. I said this before. Winter, November, I need to kind of start saving money to buy Christmas presents. So a lot of the big movies that come out around then, I just can't see because I don't have the money. That's why I have not seen Episode 7. I didn't see Thor 2: The Dark World. Okay. After that, we have Pop Star from Judd Apatow and The Lonely Island. Andy Samberg plays a Justin Bieber-esque pop star. I don't know what exactly the plot is. It just seems to be a bunch of loosely consorted faux documentary stuff. Had some good laughs in it. I do like Samberg. He's in a very underrated movie called Hot Rod. I think it's streaming on Netflix, or at least it was for a while. Look up that. It's about a guy who wants to be like the next Evel Knievel. Anyway, after that, X-Men Apocalypse. Kind of already talked about that. Not going to see that one because I still have yet to see Days of Future Past. I've been busy. Okay, after that, Central Intelligence, starring Kevin Hart and The Rock, where The Rock is a kid who was bullied in high school, and that sort of inspires him to bulk up and actually join the CIA, and he winds up having to go back to his old classmate, the one guy who defended him, and this Kevin Hart, and hilarity ensues. Looks like your standard buddy comedy. I would say probably wait till DVD or Netflix or whatever way you watch it at home. After that, Independence Day Resurgence. I'm not feeling Independence Day Resurgence. It's just, you know what? Independence Day sequel coming out in 1998, fine. Independence Day sequel coming out 20 years later, I just don't care. I like the first Independence Day. It was a fine movie. I'm just not feeling the sequel right now. And last one, Rogue One, A Star Wars Tale. Like I said, that one looked really good too. Again, it's coming out in December. I don't know if I'm really going to be able to see it. I still have yet to see Episode 7. I know I don't have to have seen Episode 7 in order to see Rogue One, because this takes place... Sorry, there's a motorcycle going by. This one takes place before Episode 4. But, you know, I like making sure I've seen everything. Okay, obviously the next video up after this will be the random trade review on Wolverine Hulk 6 Hours. See you all then.